All right, last but not least, I'm going to just quickly dive into what the 4C stand for. And this is not going to be an in-depth training on each one because that would be like an hour plus long. I'm just going to show you what each one means, and then you'll get the picture of how this all connects, and how this grows your leads, grows your connections, grows your pipeline, so you can really stack a lot of these qualified forms. Of course, you can compress your time. That's the reason we start with only 1 hour per day, because we don't really need more per se. It's just that efficient that you don't need to sit there for 8 hours, 9 to 5, and do all this work, which means there's a lot more freedom for you. The cool thing is you obviously do level up. So when you get this going, we'll move up per hour. You can oversee different team members, and as well as that, I'll connect you with clients, like I mentioned, so you can work with them, because we implement the same systems of what I've showed you for clients. So it's nothing new. You'll be using essentially their GPT instead of my one to run their offers. And since we're only going for SaaS-based businesses or AI-based businesses, that means your connections are still very focused. It's not like you add in like executives and coaches and this and insurance people or local businesses. It's still going to be very, very condensed list, which means you can post content, you can comment, you can connect, and you can convert. So let's just show content. Now, content, I am going to give you a GPT where you can actually create your own content. So you can just see just some of the stuff I create using the GPT I have. So let me actually just fire up. So I can give it to you. This is optional. I don't want people to start off making their own content, because I don't want you to sit for a whole hour making and writing posts. Although if you do like writing, I'm all for it. So Quantum Content Engine. I can paste stuff in here. I can paste like write me a post about tracking metrics, whatever's relevant to me, whatever's relevant to SaaS-based business owners. So I have a massive prompt behind this to actually write me stuff in like a way I would actually write. And I can take this, I can tweak it, I can post it, I can find an image or a video. But, a lot of the heavy lifting is done. And it's, pretty valuable to the right person. So I can give this GPT if you want to play with it. I'm going to refine it a little bit, make sure it's improving. So you can either post directly, create content to get engagement, to get likes, because then you can follow up those people and turn them into leads. Because the aim of the game isn't to just sit there and message people cold. The more leads that you eventually have coming to you, the easier this gets. There's a difference between outbound, which is what we do, versus inbound. You want to have as much inbound as possible. That's where this is heading. But at the beginning, of course, you start with just cold outbound. Now, so in terms of content, I like to repost stuff, so I'll probably have it on my feed here. I like to, where is this? I want to show you this. But for now, the content piece, the first stage is going to be for reposting. You can either post some of my content or repost other stuff that you like on the feed. I like this, for example. I recommend you just repost stuff that you actually like. So you can repost one a day. Simple. That should take you 1 minute, literally, or 2 minutes if you want to scroll on your feed. It could be done at any time. None of this is in a specific order. It's not like you do this first and the next thing. This can be done in any order. So that's content. Now, comment. What we like to do in Angeli. This works super well if you're a female, by the way. Just the way it is. So what I would do to get a lot of inbound traffic or inbound people messaging me or coming to my profile is I have this little school poster, which was originally made for school, because you can post on the on the threads, or you can post on like Facebook communities. It works the same way. So I'm going to click on comment now, and what we would do sneakily is, say I come to here. So I just do this. I come here and I copy and paste this. Ignore the first message always. I didn't have to fix this thing, but boom. So this is where I can literally go in and just copy this. And where is this? And that means, when I set a timer, I like to remove this sometimes. And I can queue probably about let's see, I think for 25 minutes, because what I like to do for this is set a 25-minute timer on Google. Boom. So I set a 25-minute timer. Now I'll go repost a post or maybe write some content. Then I'll comment for about 15 minutes, 20 minutes, sometimes whole 25 minutes, depends on the feel. And then I'll move on to maybe take a little break here, and then I'll spend the other 25 minutes on connect and convert. So that's how I recommend it. And you can take a break after those 25 minutes for 5 minutes, and boom, and then knock out the other 5 minutes, and you wrap up and then kind of recap on the last 5. So you got your hour. There's your power hour, as I call it. Power hour per day. And this means you're doing more work in this hour than most people do in the next 5 hours, because they mess around, they scroll on their newsfeed, they stay in bed and just doom scroll or watch video after video. When you can just sit your ass down for 1 hour and just do the work, and you'll get more done in this 1 hour than probably any other hour of the day. That's why I highly recommend it, and that's what we do. That's what me and Angela have been doing, and all the other top performers. So now I've actually broken it down into a process. So comment, we'll go through that. We'll just go through this. I'll literally go through this and just, boom. Eventually, once your feed is curated, it will, and you can continue, by the way, using the same thread. And I've done this up to like 70 people, so it still retains the information. Sometimes writes a bit long. So, I'm not going to go through it. Sometimes I might correct this. Self-healing. Interesting. What did he mention that? Well, I'm just checking that. Anyways, let me close this up. So next thing is, let me close this one. You get that idea. You get the content idea. And we'll let the timer run. Connect is real simple. What I like to do on these feeds is, say there's a bunch of posts. So sometimes you always get the same people, but if I don't recognize someone, I'm holding Command or Control, if you're on Windows, I believe, and just open up some profiles. I might read their bio to see if they're like a good fit. And I'll do this for about like 10-15 minutes. Sometimes I'll do it throughout the day, and I can just connect with people. The reason I'm going to connect with people is now when I go to connections next, as the 4th C, it's going to become really easy for me to send these people a message. So maybe not the best connection. 135, still a bit new to this. Call automations. Cool. So that's literally this. You can do this at any time. You can do any of these at any time. Right now, convert is, by the way, with these, you kind of balance it. Sometimes I might just do this for like, maybe write a new content post. Okay, I'll spend more time on this. Sometimes I'll skip this entirely. Sometimes if my pipeline is waiting and I have 20 messages waiting, I might focus the entire 60 minutes on this, because this is where the money's made. All of these just support this. Everything we've done is just to get people in the pipeline, get people paying attention, make it look to LinkedIn like you're a legit profile, because you are, without going too crazy. And this is great if you have a profile that's, maybe 100 people, 150, 200, and you want to just grow it gradually, because you're not going to get away with sending 50 DMs or 72 DMs in 25 minutes like I did. You have to get to that place slowly. So we're going to talk about how to slowly get to that place, and maybe make like a 30-day timeline on, do 10 messages on day 1 and 15 on day 2 and stuff like that. Almost like warming up an email server for sending emails. Same thing here. So once that's all done, the rubber truly hits the road when we go to, and I haven't used LinkedIn in ages because I've been ill. Go to connections. Now the people who actually connect back with you, this becomes really easy, because what I do, and you'll see this in my deeper trainings, is I just open these up and I'll go through, and then I'll just start doing the usual, which is this. I'll just do step 1 only for now. Wait for GPT to wake up. Let me pause it. Alright, it woke up as soon as I paused it. So I'll go through the usual process. So, I'll queue them up. So these people added me back, which means that I can message them. This is not a SaaS person, I don't think. So this is probably not the best fit lead, but who cares? Doesn't cost us anything. Sometimes writes are a bit too long. So that message looked a bit shit, but I haven't got time to correct it in this video. I'm just going to show you how it works. Cool, it looks a bit better. So I don't know why it's double posting, because this GPT is different. Yeah, I'll fix the GPT. I think I messed something up on the last update. It's not meant to write so much text, but you get the idea. So boom, I could probably send a message to this guy, but that's essentially what we do. We queue this up, and then we also do the follow-up. So anyone who's responded to the message, the previous Google Doc I showed you of the follow-up copy and paste message, we just continue down. We go into messaging, we go into the inbox, and we follow up. What I recommend, once you've got this going, is to always focus on the low-hanging fruit. I would almost always, I might reshare a comment or whatever, a content thing, but I almost always start with this, because I'd rather focus on people who are like as close as possible to just, essentially becoming a lead or give me money. In this case, for you, filling out a form, which you fill out, by the way, as long as they say yes, and then you paste their profile into the form, boom, it's all credited. So once the pipelines go in, you kind of start here. I might even move, convert. I'll leave it as it is now, because, from in the training perspective, it makes sense. You start like this, but eventually once you balance it out, you'll spend more time on doing this part, and then use these free kind of as you wish to feed this part, because all this is designed to get connections and make sure your profile looks good, your profile looks legit, make sure you're appearing in the feed, because these other connections are going to see your comments and get notifications on your comments. And then to LinkedIn, it looks all good. It looks like a totally legit account, which it is, and you're not a spammer. You're a good citizen, a good user who's participating in the community. But thanks to AI, it's just, with 10x to 100x the speed of this. Hence, we can take this out and just do it 1 hour per day. Maybe take the second hour to do some follow-up, or just track the forms. So hopefully that makes sense. And these are 3 videos to just kick this off. By now you should have a very clear idea of, this is what this is how this works. Do I want to be a part of this? You let me know, or maybe not. You can disappear, that's fine. But I'm very, very keen on speaking to the right people who actually are super pumped about this, who understand this, who see the value, who want to learn, who want to grow, who want to develop the network, and understand there's just so much more beyond these videos I've shared with them, because I don't want to overwhelm the hell out of you. There's a bazillion things I could share and talk about, but this is phase 1. Let's get this started. Let's get this going, and then we can talk about all the fancy advanced stuff later. So recheck it, drop any questions in the Discord, any group. We'll get back to them. I'll continue making videos and team trainings to dive into every single piece of this, of everything I've covered in these 3 videos, and more. I'll catch you in the group, and let's make something happen. Talk to you soon.